In this video, I will answer the question which is on the minds of many people around the globe right now. Is Earth in danger from Apophis asteroid? The answer may shock you. You'll come to know about the massive asteroid that is 325 million kilometers away from Earth right now. But before we get into all of that, let's start with a quick introduction. Welcome back to our channel where we tell you all the latest news about astronomy and astrophysics in a simple and easy to understand language. So without any further ado, let's begin today's video. Starting things off, let's talk about what exactly is Apophis. Apophis, formerly known as 99,942 Apophis, is a near-Earth asteroid that is about 370 meters or 1,200 feet in diameter. It is one of the most studied near-Earth asteroids because when it was first discovered, it was thought that it might collide with the Earth in the year 2029. However, astronomers later refined their calculations and ruled out any possibility of an impact. The name Apophis was given to it by the discoverers after an Egyptian god of evil and destruction. The asteroid was first sighted for the first time in 2004, but it was officially discovered by an amateur astronomer named Roy Tucker. It was officially given the designation 99942 Apophis by the Minor Planet Center at the International Astronomical Union. As I said earlier, the name was given after the Egyptian deity. According to the discoverers, Apophis personifies the ancient Egyptian god of darkness and evil who was responsible for bringing destruction upon the Earth. I guess they named it that way because of how close it came to Earth. Let me take you back to 2004 when it was first sighted. At that time, astronomers had limited data about the asteroid, so they couldn't calculate its orbit for sure. This lack of data made them think that it could be potentially hazardous. Why potentially? Well, that's because scientists calculated that there was a small possibility that the asteroid could collide with the Earth either in 2029 or in 2036. The possibility was so small that it was only 1 in 300,000. Despite that, NASA classified the asteroid Apophis as a major threat back then. This caused quite a stir among the general public, especially when they heard that there was a small chance that the asteroid could cause mass extinctions similar to the one that killed dinosaurs. Scientists started observing it very closely and monitoring its orbit to calculate the possibility of it colliding with our planet. But turns out the asteroid wasn't as dangerous as we thought. In 2005, astronomers were able to gather enough data about it and refine its orbit, and since then Apophis has been removed from the at-risk list. Now the possibility of it hitting Earth in 2029 or 2036 is next to zero. The next time it will pass Earth will be in the year 2049, and even then the distance between the asteroid and the Earth will be more than 32 million kilometers. But still, astronomers are keeping a close eye on it. Now the question arises why it should be of concern to us even though it doesn't pose any immediate danger. Let me tell you that near-Earth objects like Apophis are of special interest to scientists. They want to study these objects in detail because these objects sometimes pose a serious threat to the existence of life on Earth. Scientists are trying to learn as much as possible about these near-Earth objects, just in case one of them collides with the Earth in the future. If you think that near-Earth asteroid collisions are rare, you might be wrong. In fact, such collisions are pretty common. Astronomers believe that near-Earth asteroid impacts were responsible for several major mass extinctions in the past. One such event is believed to have wiped out the dinosaurs, and some scientists even believe that the extinction of humans could also come through a near-Earth asteroid collision. I know it sounds scary, but don't worry. NASA is always on the lookout for these asteroids and they have a plan to deal with them. In fact, they've already tested their plan. On September 26, 2022, NASA successfully crashed a spacecraft into an asteroid. The goal was to determine if such a mission could be used to redirect an asteroid away from Earth. The double asteroid redirection test involved crashing the spacecraft named DART into an asteroid named Dimorphos, which was orbiting a larger space rock named Ida. The kinetic impactor smashed into Dimorphos at 14,000 miles per hour, which is almost 22,500 kilometers per hour. NASA believes that this is the first ever planetary defense technology demonstration. It will help mankind in the future if we need to move an asteroid away from Earth. So rest assured, you are in good hands. For now, Apophis won't cause any damage to the Earth. But there's another asteroid that is currently headed towards Earth. It is called 2023 DW8, and it will come pretty close to our planet, but make no mistake, it won't hit Earth. Even the most advanced telescopes in the world, QNCIS, see it yet because it is too far away. But astronomers are confident that it won't cause any harm to the Earth, so let me explain this. Currently, the asteroid is about 33 million kilometers away from Earth. Its speed is 34,000 kilometers per hour, and it is getting closer. Every day it comes closer to Earth. But it will reach its closest point on March 25, 2023. On that day, it will be only 15.6 million kilometers away from the Earth. The asteroid was discovered recently, so it hasn't been officially named yet. However, astronomers have been observing it since February and will continue to monitor it until April. Here's why, you see. After April, the asteroid will go behind the Sun and won't be visible from Earth. So basically, we'll lose track of it. But that doesn't mean that you should be worried. Once again, it won't collide with the Earth. The reason why astronomers are tracking it is just in case its path gets altered. If that happens, it could potentially be hazardous. But if nothing unusual happens, it will simply go behind the sun and then come out of the other side in the month of October. Now, during this time period, astronomers will keep a close watch on it to see if anything unusual happens. If nothing unusual happens, then it is safe to say that the asteroid won't be a threat to the Earth anytime soon. Experts believe that the maximum size of this asteroid is 500 feet, which is about 150 meters. Currently, its exact size is unknown because it is too far away. Also, the asteroid is dark and hence it is difficult to spot, so let me tell you, you don't have to worry about it. Currently, it is not dangerous for Earth. Another thing you should know is that this asteroid is not the only one that is coming close to Earth. On March 19, 2023, another asteroid named 2023 BOO will pass the Earth. It will be only 3,600 kilometers away from the surface of the Earth, which is really close if you ask me. However, experts say that it won't cause any damage. You see, 2023 BOO is a small asteroid with a maximum size of only 6.6 feet or 2 meters. Yes, that's small. According to Jonathan McDowell, an astrophysicist at the Harvard-Smithsonian Center, this asteroid is so small that it wouldn't even leave a dent in a car if it hits it. So I don't think you have to worry about it. When we talked about this asteroid for the first time, many of you wrote in the comments that it would pass very close to our planet in 2029 and that it would be dangerous, and some even said that it was going to destroy Earth. We'll talk about all that in just a minute, but first, let me show you something. This image was taken by the Doomsday spacecraft, was launched by NASA in 2006 and is currently orbiting the Sun ahead of the Earth. Take a look at the date when this photo was taken, February 2021. What do you see in this image? Of course, the Sun. But look closely around the Sun. Do you see those blurry spots? There are asteroids there. They orbit the Sun and some of them cross the Earth's orbit every year. These asteroids can be dangerous. For example, the Chelyabinsk meteor was about 20 meters in diameter, and its impact over Russia caused damage estimated at more than $30 million. That happened because it flew too low, only 12 kilometers above the surface. In this video, we'll find out if the asteroid Apophis is one of these dangerous space rocks and if it poses a threat to our planet. Will it collide with the Earth or will humanity survive? Let's sort it out together. The asteroid named 99,942 Apophis has been known since 2004. Back then, astronomers predicted that in 2029 it could collide with the Earth. They even gave it an impact hazard rating of 4 out of 5. So, 4 out of 5, what does that mean? According to NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, which is responsible for calculating the probability of asteroid impacts, the scale ranges from 1 to 10. The higher the rating, the greater the chance of a collision. So back in 2004, they thought there was a good chance it would happen, but then astronomers started to calm down a bit. In 2013, according to calculations, the asteroid had to fly really close to the Earth. At that time, it would pass between our planet and the Moon, and if it happened, it would have been much closer than the ISS. So in 2013, observations were made and it turned out the asteroid missed the Earth at a distance of 31,000 kilometers. That's almost 9 times the distance between the Earth and the Moon. So why did they make such a precise forecast back in 2004 and why was it so wrong? It's simple. Asteroids don't have a constant speed. They move under the influence of gravity and other space objects can affect their trajectories. That's why observing an asteroid over a long period of time is very important to calculate its speed and determine whether it's dangerous. And the thing is, the more often scientists track it, the better they know its movement pattern. For example, thanks to the stereo spacecrafts, we can observe how the asteroid flies past the Sun. Then we can already predict how it will move further and if it is going to threaten the Earth. In 2021, this asteroid flew very close to our planet. Did it collide with Earth this time? Of course not. In fact, Apophis approached the Earth even closer than in 2013. It passed at a distance of only 31,000 kilometers from us, and although it was visible even with the naked eye, we still had to use powerful telescopes to spot it. So the asteroid is not huge, no more than 370 meters in diameter. And now here comes the most interesting part. In 2029, Apophis will approach the Earth again, and it'll be much closer than in 2021. Its distance from us at closest approach will be only 30,850 kilometers, and if the calculations are confirmed, it'll be the closest approach to Earth of any asteroid ever recorded in history. So what's the danger of this asteroid? It's not big enough to destroy the Earth. You probably remember that movie with the same name where a huge space rock broke apart and killed millions of people. In reality, an asteroid the size of Apophis can't destroy our planet. But even though it won't destroy the Earth, its fragments could fall to it, and that would be bad. Take for example the Chelyabinsk meteor we mentioned earlier. Its diameter was only 20 meters, but the consequences of its fall were much greater than one would expect. The explosion in the sky was comparable in power to 30 atomic bombs. When it fell to the ground, it left a crater 20 meters deep and 66 meters wide. Luckily, there were no casualties. but several thousand square meters of roofs and facades collapsed due to the shockwave. The meteorites themselves were scattered over an area of more than 1,000 square kilometers, and some of them even reached neighboring regions. If the meteor had exploded in the air at an even lower altitude, the destruction could have been much greater. So the fragments of this asteroid could pose a real danger. Will Apophis break up before it gets closer to the Earth? Unfortunately, we can't rule out this possibility. It's not like it's going to crumble into pieces, but it can split into several large fragments, all because Apophis has a lot of space debris around it. And if it collides with any of these objects, that can really break the asteroid apart. Also, Apophis itself may suddenly change its trajectory, and that can happen due to the non-uniform gravitational field. For example, the asteroid's orbit could be affected by the gravity of Venus. The planet's gravity can be stronger than expected, and it can push the asteroid away from the Sun, from its usual orbit. And if that happens, there's a chance it will collide with Earth, and then its fragments might fall to Earth. But there's another option. As you probably know, the Earth isn't the only planet in the solar system with a powerful gravity. That's right, it's Jupiter. Its gravity is 2.5 times stronger than Earth's, and it's so massive that it can easily pull Apophis off its orbit and send it straight to the Sun. And if that happens, there won't be any fragments. The asteroid will burn up in the Sun's atmosphere, and that would be the best scenario. Of course, Apophis won't be the first asteroid to burn up in the Sun's atmosphere. For example, in 2017, scientists watched asteroid 2017-07, or Aphrodite, completely evaporate. It was 7 kilometers wide, and it came from the Oort cloud. It flew around the Sun at a speed of 250 kilometers per second. The heat from the Sun literally boiled the asteroid, and it lost about 27% of its mass. But the main thing is that it also changed its orbit. Before that, it revolved around the Sun in 548 days. After that, it took only 425 days. So what's the bottom line? In 2029, the asteroid Apophis will approach the Earth, but will it collide with it? Astronomers claim that it won't. They give it a rating of 0 out of 10. That means there is no chance it'll collide with the Earth. Such confidence is explained by the fact that Apophis has already circled the Sun several times, and we've learned to predict its behavior quite accurately. There's simply no way it could suddenly change its orbit. It won't happen. On the other hand, there's always some uncertainty in these predictions. So what should we do to be prepared for all eventualities? If we do get unlucky, that'll be the first major test of the planetary defense system. NASA plans to create it by 2024. It includes several projects designed to protect the Earth from asteroids. Some of them are already in use, like the Double Asteroid Redirection Test Project, which was successfully completed in September 2022. This project dealt with an asteroid that was 8 million kilometers away from Earth. So far away that we couldn't even see it with a telescope. Its name was Dimorphos, and it wasn't dangerous to the Earth. That's why scientists chose it for testing. The goal was to redirect the asteroid's orbit with the help of a special probe, and they managed to do it. The probe named DART literally rammed into the asteroid and pushed it away from its orbit. There are other projects that are at the planning stage, and one of them is called Hera. It'll be launched in 2024, and it'll be engaged in studying asteroids. Hera will determine how dangerous an asteroid is and will identify potential points of its vulnerability. In other words, the probe will find weak spots that could be used to defend the Earth. Sounds impressive, doesn't it? Well, there are even crazier plans. For example, to blow up an asteroid with a nuclear bomb. But it's not science fiction. Scientists have already calculated that a bomb with a capacity of about 600 tons of TNT can be used to change the asteroid's orbit. How? Let me explain. Placing a bomb on an asteroid isn't an easy task. The object's surface is uneven and it rotates very quickly, so it's better to do it from the inside. For example, one version involves drilling a tunnel through the center of the asteroid and placing the bomb there. It's simple, but what if the asteroid turns out to be hollow? Then the bomb blast will simply scatter it into pieces. So in this case, scientists suggest placing the bomb at the focus of the asteroid's gravity, where all the heavy stuff is located. Then the blast wave will go around the asteroid and push it away from Earth. That is, we'll be able to redirect it without destroying it. I think it's clear now that humanity is ready for anything. And if Apophis does suddenly change its orbit, we'll be ready to stop it. By the way, there's another asteroid approaching the Earth. NASA has just recalculated the orbit of the asteroid Apophis, and it turns out that our planet is not in danger. The asteroid won't hit us for at least 100 years, but that's not all. In April 2029, the asteroid will pass extremely close to Earth, just 31,000 kilometers from our planet, and it might be even closer. How is that even possible? Just recently, we made a video where we looked at whether the asteroid Apophis was dangerous to our planet. Scientists were still unsure about the orbit of this asteroid, and there was a slight possibility that it could hit Earth in 2069. That would be terrible because, according to estimates, such an impact would be equivalent to the power of a thermonuclear bomb. Now, scientists have calculated a new orbit and fortunately turned out that our planet is safe for the next 100 years. However, everything will change in 2029. It's then that the asteroid will pass extremely close to Earth, so close that it can be seen with the naked eye. But what's the point of being safe if we'll be able to see it so well? Let's sort it all out. In this video, first we'll look at why scientists had to update the calculations of the asteroid's orbit. Then we'll find out how they did it. And finally, we'll learn what this means for humanity. Asteroids are like space hooligans who don't know the rules of the road. They just fly around the solar system and sometimes they even break them. As a result, astronomers often have to correct their orbits. This is exactly what happened with the asteroid Apophis. At first, Apophis was considered potentially dangerous. It's not that it threatened our planet in the near future, but it could do so in the far future. Back in 2004, the Minor Planet Center classified it as a potentially hazardous asteroid, but the thing is that this asteroid was discovered quite by accident. At that time, its orbit was poorly studied. It only became known for sure in 2012 when it flew past Earth. Fortunately, it wasn't dangerous, but that's when astronomers realized they needed to correct the asteroid's orbit, and they did. In 2018, astronomers found out that the asteroid would not threaten Earth over the next 100 years. But now it seems those calculations need to be updated again. What's going on? The asteroid's orbit cannot be calculated as precisely as we'd like. There are simply too many factors to consider. For example, the gravity of other planets affects the asteroid's trajectory. There are also small space bodies that can collide with Apophis and push it off course. Even light affects the asteroid's orbit, though this factor is almost negligible. Anyway, astronomers try to calculate the orbit of Apophis every couple of years. They do this by collecting data from radar stations around the world. Radar is a range-finding device used to determine distances to objects by measuring the time it takes for radio waves to get back from them after being reflected. Astronomers use radar to track asteroids. To do this, they send radio waves towards the asteroid. Some of these waves are reflected back, and then astronomers measure the time it takes for this to happen. Based on the speed of light, they can then calculate the distance from Earth to the asteroid. With each measurement, astronomers get a rough idea of where the asteroid is located at a particular moment. The more data they collect, the more accurate the picture of its orbit becomes. Usually this process doesn't cause any trouble. But in the case of Apophis, things are much more complicated. It's the Yarkovsky effect that's to blame. It occurs when sunlight heats one side of an asteroid while the other remains relatively cold. Hot air rises from the heated side and makes its way to the cold one. There it cools down, turns into dew and flows back down. This creates a force that literally pushes the asteroid away from the sun. At first glance, this effect seems negligible, but it has already caused Apophis to move 170,000 kilometers away from its original orbit. Because of this, astronomers couldn't accurately determine the asteroid's trajectory. To make matters worse, in April 2029, Apophis will be very close to Earth. Then it'll pass just 31,000 kilometers from our planet, which is only 8% of the distance between Earth and the Moon. At this distance, the asteroid will be clearly visible with the naked eye, having an apparent magnitude of about -29. Do you think it's brighter than the Moon? No. The Moon usually has an apparent magnitude of about -26 or 27. But in the case of Apophis, that won't be enough because the asteroid will be much closer to us. So to understand what will happen to it in 2029, NASA had to accurately determine its current orbit, and here's how they did it. From February to March 2023, astronomers used the Goldstone radar in California to collect data on Apophis, but to improve accuracy, they decided to take advantage of another space agency's work. In late March, ESA launched the Hera spacecraft to study the asteroid Didymos. Hera will arrive there in July 2027, but since it's on its way to Didymos, it can also collect data on it and help improve the accuracy of its orbit calculations. So NASA sent commands to the probe to fly as close as possible to Apophis, and it did. On March, Hera flew within 32 kilometers of the asteroid. During that time, it took pictures and collected data, which NASA later used to calculate Apophis's orbit. After analyzing the data, astronomers concluded that the asteroid would not threaten Earth over the next 100 years. Moreover, in 2029, it will pass just 31,000 kilometers from our planet. That's the closest it'll come to Earth until 2036. By that time, the distance will increase to 42 million kilometers. But wait, I thought that astronomers were supposed to update the orbit calculations every few years. And here it turns out that they're only going to do it in 2029. Is that right? Yes and no. Actually, astronomers constantly monitor the asteroid, and if necessary, they can correct the orbit at any time. But in most cases, that's not necessary. However, if an asteroid gets too close to Earth, astronomers may miss something important. For example, the asteroid's rotation speed or the presence of its satellites. And when it turns out that there's something wrong with the orbit, scientists have to conduct an emergency observation campaign. And this is exactly what happened with Apophis. While studying the asteroid in 2023, astronomers noticed that its orbit was farther from the Sun than expected. This means that over time, the asteroid would move away from Earth if the correction hadn't been made. In 2029, Apophis would have been as close as 23,000 kilometers. But as it turned out, thanks to the latest observations, astronomers learned that in 2029, the asteroid will be 31,000 kilometers away from our planet. That's not too bad, but this distance can still be reduced several times. In the meantime, Hera is on its way to Didymos, but it can be used now. Its camera has captured a stunning image of Jupiter's moon Europa, which looks like a huge white spot against the backdrop of our solar system's most famous storm. You can see the intricate pattern of cracks and lines on its surface. This makes Europa unique among the known moons of the solar system. Well, that's actually good news for humanity. We'll soon be able to observe two amazing phenomena at once. In April 2029, Apophis will pass extremely close to Earth and the Hera spacecraft will arrive at Didymos. Do you know how big these asteroids are? Apophis is about 370 meters in diameter and Didymos is 7-8 kilometers in diameter. But which of these asteroids is more dangerous to Earth? On Friday, April 2023, an asteroid named 2029P is flying past Earth at a distance of just 31,000 kilometers. This asteroid was previously known as Apophis or 99,942. The name change occurred after it passed Earth in 2021. At a much closer distance of 31,000 kilometers compared to 2029, PS projected 31 million kilometer distance. The slight variation in name reflects the unique trajectory of this asteroid. It won't pass Earth again until the year 3029. The current flyby will be an opportunity for astronomers to test their capabilities in observing and characterizing near-Earth asteroids. Gaining this experience is crucial as it will aid humanity in safeguarding Earth against potential future threats posed by asteroids. It will also provide insights into the abundant resources present in space, which can be harnessed for various purposes such as propulsion systems, solar panels, and mining operations. In addition, the asteroid's composition and structure will be studied to understand how these objects form and evolve. The scientific significance of this event is comparable to the impact of Sputnik in 1957 and the Apollo missions in the 1960s and 70s. As the first satellite and then the moon landings captured the world's imagination, 2029P will inspire future generations with the potential to revolutionize humanity's role in the universe. During the flyby, several space agencies like NASA and ESA are actively tracking the asteroid and utilizing telescopes worldwide to observe it. Telescopes at various locations are being used to track the asteroid's position and gather data on its size, shape, composition, and rotation. Observatories such as the Almago Observatory in Spain, the European Southern Observatory in Chile, and NASA's Infrared Telescope Facility in Hawaii are involved in this effort. These observations will help better understand the asteroid's characteristics and refine models of its trajectory and composition. To enhance the visibility of the asteroid, astrophotographers and skywatchers are also using powerful telescopes to capture images of the object. They hope to capture not only the asteroid itself, but also any moons that may be orbiting it. 2029P is predicted to have at least 2 small moons based on observations from Earth. Visual observations will assist scientists in verifying previous estimates of the asteroid's size and assessing its physical features such as color, shape, and surface texture. Additionally, they will provide information about the presence of moons and other objects in the asteroid's vicinity. The International Asteroid Warning Network, or IAWN, established in 2019 by the United Nations Office for Outer Space Affairs, or UNOOSA, plays a vital role in monitoring the asteroid's trajectory and assessing its potential impact on Earth. Although the asteroid is not expected to pose a threat to our planet, the IAWN serves as a reminder of the importance of global cooperation in responding to near-Earth objects. Its members include national space agencies, observatories, and research centers collaborating to detect, track, and characterize potentially hazardous asteroids. By sharing data and expertise, the IAWN aims to provide early warnings and recommendations to governments regarding potential impacts. While there are currently no known threats of an imminent asteroid impact, the IAWN continues to monitor and study near-Earth objects to ensure the safety of our planet. Its work is essential in the event of a future discovery of an asteroid on a collision course with Earth, allowing us to prepare and take appropriate action if necessary. If you want to see the asteroid for yourself, here are some tips on how to do so. The asteroid will be visible in the night sky as a faint point of light resembling a star. However, due to its distance, it will be challenging to observe without a telescope or binoculars. Using a telescope will provide a better view of the asteroid, allowing you to appreciate its size and shape more clearly. If you don't have access to a telescope, you can still try using binoculars to spot the asteroid. Binoculars will help magnify the asteroid, making it appear brighter and larger than when viewed with the naked eye. To locate the asteroid in the sky, it's important to know its exact position and brightness. Websites and mobile applications that provide real-time updates on the asteroid's location can be helpful. NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory provides regular updates on its website, allowing you to track the asteroid's progress. Similarly, there are numerous mobile apps available that provide information on the asteroid's visibility and brightness. These tools will help you determine the best time and location to view the asteroid. Another tip is to find an area with minimal light pollution for optimal viewing conditions. Light pollution from cities and other sources of artificial light can hinder the observation of faint celestial objects like asteroids. Therefore, it's advisable to find a spot away from city lights to increase your chances of seeing the asteroid. This could mean heading to a nearby rural area, or even venturing into the countryside. In conclusion, while the upcoming flyby of the 2029 P asteroid poses no direct danger to Earth, it offers valuable opportunities for scientific exploration and advancement. By studying this asteroid, researchers can gain insights into near-Earth objects, improve asteroid detection methods, and explore the potential for resource utilization in space. The collaborative efforts of international space agencies and astronomical institutions highlight the importance of global cooperation in advancing our understanding of the universe. Moreover, the asteroid's visibility from Earth, although challenging, allows amateur astronomers and skywatchers to connect with the wonder of space exploration. With the right tools and planning, observers can catch a glimpse of this celestial object and appreciate its significance in our planetary system. Now let's move on to the most important part of the video. The answer to the question, is Earth in danger? The short answer is no. The long version answer is no, definitely not. Scientists closely monitor asteroids that come close to Earth, and Apophis isn't one of them. Apophis was once considered potentially dangerous because it made several close approaches to our planet, but further observations showed that it does not pose a threat to Earth until the year 3029. So we can sleep well tonight knowing that we are safe from this asteroid. However, there are thousands of other asteroids out there, and we need to keep looking for new ones and keep an eye on the ones we already know about. We never know when another one might be hurtling towards Earth. NASA has said that there are between 25,000 and 50,000 asteroids of all sizes in near-Earth space, and of those, about 10,000 are potentially dangerous. Fortunately, there are many organizations like NASA and ESA dedicated to finding and tracking asteroids, so that we can be prepared if one is ever hurtling towards Earth. So while Apophis isn't a threat to our planet, it is still an exciting opportunity to learn more about the universe around us. So let's enjoy the show. As we all know that this asteroid is coming towards the Earth. People all around the world were very scared when they heard this news. They were afraid that this asteroid will hit the Earth and it will be the end of the world. But instead of being afraid, we should be more aware about this asteroid because it is a great opportunity for us to learn more about space and also to be prepared for any kind of natural disasters that may happen in the future. One of the most important things that we can do is to keep a watch on this asteroid and track its path. By doing this, we will be able to predict when it will hit the Earth and also how strong of an impact it will make. Also, this asteroid is coming towards the Earth, so we should use this opportunity to learn more about asteroids and also to develop new technologies that can help us defend against them. For example, we can develop new ways to detect asteroids that are coming towards the Earth, also develop new methods to track their path. One of the best things about this asteroid is that it is coming towards the Earth so quickly. It is only 311 meters wide and 8 kilometers long, which makes it relatively small compared to other asteroids that have hit the Earth in the past. This means that we have a good chance to stop it if it starts heading towards the Earth. The first thing that we need to do is to set up a global asteroid defense system. This system should consist of a network of telescopes that can scan the skies for asteroids that are coming towards the Earth. Once an asteroid is detected, we can use powerful computers to calculate its path and predict when it will hit the Earth. This will give us enough time to take action and prevent the asteroid from hitting the Earth. Another thing that we can do is to develop new technologies to move asteroids away from the Earth. One of the most promising technologies is using a nuclear explosion to push the asteroid away from the Earth. This technology has been tested in the past, but it is still in the experimental stage. We need to do more research on this technology before we can use it to defend against an actual asteroid. The third thing that we can do is to improve our early warning system. This system should be able to alert people around the world in case an asteroid is heading towards the Earth. The alert system should be able to send messages to people through various channels such as TV, radio, and mobile phones. We should also develop plans to evacuate people from areas that are at risk of being hit by the asteroid. By doing all these things, we can be better prepared to deal with an asteroid that is coming towards the Earth. Another thing that we can do is to educate people about asteroids and how to protect themselves. In case an asteroid hits the Earth, many people are not aware of the dangers of asteroids and what to do if an asteroid hits the Earth. We need to start educating people about this so that they are better prepared in case an asteroid hits the Earth. We can start by educating school children about asteroids and how to protect themselves. We can also set up public awareness campaigns to educate people of all ages about asteroids. By educating people, we can create a society that is better prepared to deal with asteroids. Another thing that we can do is to support organizations that are working on asteroid defense. There are several organizations around the world that are working on developing technologies and strategies to defend against asteroids. We can support these organizations by donating money or by volunteering our time. By supporting these organizations, we can help them to do their work more effectively and also contribute to the development of new technologies that can help us defend against asteroids. So these are some of the things that we can do to protect ourselves from asteroids. We need to be aware of the dangers of asteroids and also be prepared to deal with them in case they hit the Earth. By taking these steps, we can create a safer future for ourselves and also for our planet. Now let's move towards the conclusion of this video. I hope that you have enjoyed this video and also learned something new from it. We have talked about some of the things that we can do to protect ourselves from asteroids and also create a safer future for ourselves. I would like to know your opinion on this topic. What do you think we should do to protect ourselves from asteroids? Please share your thoughts in the comment section below. I would love to read them, so don't forget to leave a comment. Thank you for watching this video till the end, and I hope to see you in my next video. Till then, bye bye. Take care.